Very good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are being located. And as usual, thank you so much, Sunan, for the wonderful opportunity to and let me to answer for the questions which were shared by our team members. These questions were asked in VMware and SAP, those kind of product-based companies. So here are the questions, and I'm trying to attempt to answer those questions. If you have different opinion or if you want to add on anything, do comment in the comment section and feel free to provide feedbacks. So let's start, I think. So here is the first question. Let me open the questions. So your team is working on a project with a high degree of uncertainty and rapidly changing requirements. How do you approach adaptive planning in such an environment? Provide an example of a project where you had to frequently adjust plans and priorities and describe how you maintain team focus and productivity. I hope this is nothing to do with that company alone. Most of the company in nowadays fast changing environment, we are working on more uncertainty. So this is how the companies are being in practice, at least as far as my understanding. So in a project with a high degree of uncertainty and a rapidly changing environments, adaptive planning becomes very, very, very crucial to maintain our focus and delivering values. Of course, focus is one of the great Scrum values, right? So as a mature product manager or an agile coach, the key is to embrace an agile mindset. Okay, we all know that the planning what we are doing is not about predicting the future, but we are mainly aiming to adapt a new information as it comes. That's what all about agile, right? Adapting the new information or new requirement, whatever it is. So this requires a flexibility, frequent re-evaluation of priorities and alignment with the business goals. Okay, so having said that, you need to maintain that team dynamics and morale with the team motivated and productive as well. So how we can approach this adaptive planning? The first thing is a shorter planning life cycles. Sorry, planning cycles, not life cycles, planning cycles. Instead of having the sprints for a long-term planning, break the project down into smaller and manageable iterations. Maybe a 2 week or even a 1 week. Some companies, I'm personally aware that they are going with the 1 day of sprint as well. Okay, so this allows them to frequent adjustments without committing to a rigid roadmap. Okay, so each sprint focuses on delivering incremental values aligned with the most current priority, so that you don't want to stress yourself, right? This is also something it's manageable. Prioritization with the stakeholders. When this kind of very uncertain environment, prioritization with the stakeholders is very crucial. You need to align with your stakeholders and get their priority before you are pitching into something else. Along with that, frequent feedback, because it's very uncertain. We are working in the risky environment. Risky, what I mean here is that sometimes we may not aware what is next, what comes next. So that kind of environment. So frequent feedback and review is crucial for us. Okay. And the cross-functional teams, we all know how this cross-functional team works. These kind of very uncertain and constant dynamic changing in the requirements or dynamic changing in the feature developments, whatever it is, you need to have your cross-functional team in place to handle different types of tasks and deliver it as per the customer's expectations. So keep some capacity reserved to accommodate urgent requests along when you are planning for your cross-functional team. Always have some buffer limits or buffer times. And then maintain a clear vision. Yes. In fact, many in my current organization also asking, when this kind of continuous change, what is a vision? Okay. So though it's a continuous change, the dynamic frequent change in the requirement of uncertain environment, it's crucial to have your North Star. That's going to lead you. So please ensure your North Star is clear. The project's overarching goal, the vision guides the team when priorities shift. Okay, so communicating this vision regularly keeps the team focused despite changing day-to-day tasks. Okay, and main thing, the last but not least, focus on outcomes, not outputs. right? Just doing the sprint and delivering the stories is not going to add any value. So focus on the outcomes, which is delivering value rather than just by completing task. Okay, customer satisfactions or business value, what we are doing it. Maybe if I want to add a real-time example, Spotify's agile approach, and I really wanted to emphasize the strategy of one particular thing: discover weekly features. You must, many of us may know, may not know. In fact, I wasn't aware about this one till I was going through this case study. Okay, so here Spotify agile approach is also, we all know, right? Adaptive planning model only they have taken with their approach, which it uses to address the constant evaluation of its music streaming platform, right? So it's continuous change. So squad based agile model, they have taken this as a thing. Squad based agile model, it means they organize its teams into squads, which are small, very small, and cross functional teams. Mini startup, they work as a mini startup. They have taken the decisions and they have implemented as per the expectations. So they have an autonomy and the power and the privileges to decide how to approach its works, and adaptive planning was leveraged to them. So that way it helped them a lot to make this done. And frequent reprioritization. So highly competitive music streaming market, right? So in this case, launch of a new feature like personalized playlist, changing in the licensing agreements, or adapting to different content consumption habits. This requires constant reprioritization. So very often they have done the reprioritization. How they did it? Shorter cycles, not going for a longer cycles, such as a bi-weekly sprints. Mainly the Spotify models approach this bi-weekly sprints. After each sprint, they reassessed based on the latest available information and the feedback from the stakeholders. So these two are very crucial. What's the customer expectation and what's the feedback from the stakeholders? So Discover weekly feature is also the same. When initially developed, this particular personalized playlist needed continuous adjustments said to be completed. So I think every Monday, this Discovery Weekly, they will release some 30 songs in a playlist based on your taste and your interest. So optimized based on your search and think. So Spotify rolled out that feature incrementally. They used feedback from early versions to improve the recommendations algorithms. As a result, Discover Weekly became one of their most popular features, delivering value while evolving with user needs. So I hope this question I explained in a detailed way. The Spotify example and their Discover Weekly helps you to align what is adaptive planning, how you can approach. But again, having said that, this can be a practical answer, but when you implement it theoretically, practically, you must encounter many other challenges in this ways of working. So we as a Scrum Master should be strong enough, or a product manager to be in the position to say, this is what my North Star, this is what the alignment, this is how you want to bring your team to the goal. Okay. So moving on to the next question. So the next question is balancing the need for new features with addressing technical depth in an agile environment is a complex but essential aspect of product management, correct? As a product manager, it's crucial for you to weigh both sides. New features drive customer satisfaction and market competitiveness. So the question is all about, you have two things. You want to prioritize you have new features, technical depth as well. So what you as a product manager will prioritize on what basis? Correct. This is what in a nutshell the question is all about. So as a product manager, we must be in the tough position to determine which is crucial, because the new feature is going to bring a lot of opportunities and the business thinker. Correct. And as well as customer satisfaction, market competitiveness. On the other hand, this technical depth ensures a long-term product stability and maintainability. So in a layman term, if I want to say, you have some depth in hand, but you are about to buy a property. Okay, this property may leads or may helps you to expand your business, and you can get more customers and X, Y, Z. But if this technical debt is your debt, okay, your debt is not manageable, and if this is something going to harm your new purchase, think about it. Correct. So this is what in a layman term the question is all about. So the first thing is that understanding the business value. new features are typically driven by immediate customer demand. If something is new feature is coming on, the customer is expecting that at that moment, or market opportunities offering visible value. However, technical debt is often less obvious but has a long-term cost, delays in development, harder maintenance, or potential system failures. Always consider your technical debt as a first-class citizen in your backlog. New feature is important. At the meantime, first-class citizens also you want to give that respect or whatever it is. So acknowledging that paying down technical debt improves the product's ability to scale, innovate, and remain adaptable. Say for an instance, in another way, if I want to say, you are adding a very good, wonderful new feature, but because of this technical debt, logging into the application or mobile app or website itself is consuming a lot of time. Do you really think that you can withhold the customers? Okay. Having said that, if the technical debt is not that much thing, look into the feature development. So whenever the first thing is that understanding business value. The second point is that risk mitigation. Technical debt increases risk over time. So what seems minor now can be a big issue in down the line in 2 to 3 months. So deferring it indefinitely can result in team burnt out, slower feature delivery, and higher bug counts. So a mature product manager should always assess how much debt is manageable. So I know for my salary or my expenses or my financial handling, how much debt I can handle. So what is the business value I'm about to get from this particular new purchase of the land or whatever it is business of. So you don't have to fix everything at once, but you need to track debt and have a strategy for reducing it. That's what so-called risk mitigation. Okay. The art of trade-off. The third point is that art of trade-off. When prioritizing, you should analyze how addressing technical debt impacts future velocity. Okay, so sometimes reducing the technical debt may help your team to develop the feature quickly and deliver it as soon as possible within the set timeline. So this way also you need to think and do the trade-off. So look at the cost of delay for both feature and the tech debt. Is there a time-sensitive feature that could bring a new customer base, or is it the tech debt that is left unaddressed will slow down the feature development? Then collaborate with engineers because they are the right person who can say that this is something going to stop progressing, or this is something we can manage when we are doing it parallelly. So they are the right person. So keep an ongoing dialogues, activities, and the conversations about the technical debts as well as the return on investments. How will fixing it improve? Maybe if I want to say some real world scenario, maybe I would like to emphasize this particular real world example of Facebook. Facebook initially built its mobile app, not now, some long year ago, maybe some 10 to 12 years ago, I believe. Facebook initially built its mobile app using HTML5 code, which allowed them to maintain a single code base across platforms. However, uh, after the customers started to use it actively, the app performance was very slow and it caused numerous user complaints. Okay, so that time team members were working on the new features. The app's slow performance due to the accumulated technical debt of using HTML5 became a critical issue. So now we need to take a call whether shall I go ahead with the new feature development, or should I step back, look what's essential, or do I need to fix the technical debt? So what the decision Facebook made at that time, instead of pushing out more features, they stopped. Facebook engineering team made the strategic decisions to halt feature development and address the technical debt, because I'm adding new features. But what if the users are not there? I am making the new feature to satisfy my customers. But because of this technical debt, if I miss my customers itself, what is the point of creating this new feature? Correct. So, and address the technical debt by migrating to native iOS and Android apps. So from HTML5 code, they have migrated it to other features. So this was a substantial effort that took months and involved rewriting the entire mobile app. So the move to native apps drastically improved performance, making the app faster and more responsive. This leads to increased customer satisfaction. That's what all we want, right? And engineers also able to work with more modern and scalable tools, reducing future maintenance. So when we are applying this kind of tools, future maintenance and improving overall development velocity. So this way, they prioritize technical depth over feature. You as a product manager need to think which is essential for you at this moment. What is the risk you are about to carry forward with you when you are proposing the new feature? So is it something manageable, the depth is, or no? That these kind of analysis really you want to look into this. I hope this question made some sense for you. Let's move on to the next question. So a new feature you launched is not seeing the expected adoption rates. How do you identify the reasons behind low adoption and devise a strategy to increase user engagement? Of course, that's what we all want, right? With the new feature. So how you as a product manager successfully turned around the adoption of a product feature? When facing low adoption rates for a newly launched feature, this is, I think, when during the time of initial new business, or when you're launching the new feature, every I think most of the products will see some setbacks, then only it will thrive, until unless we reach the customer and customers understand what's the use of these things, every other factors. So what a product manager need to do? Nowadays, everything is a data-driven approach. It should be a structured and data-driven approach to justify and to uncover or unlearn the things, the reasons behind this. The first step, what we all want to do is a data-driven analysis, because without data, without that, we can't make any informed decisions. So data speaks a lot. So data-driven analysis. User behavior analytics. Somewhere in some blogs or when I was researching about some product strategies, I found this. When some product is being launched, we will be tracked the navigation of the features in the product also. Okay, so based on that, how many customers or in what way they are navigating. If I'm tapping the first home screen, then the next tap where I'm going. How am I swiping the window? How this window is moving? Everything is being tracked based on that. It's a customized user experience they are making. So this is something crucial. Of course, I little bit felt that, oh my God, where is the security of mine? Whatever I'm doing, everything is being tracked. But yeah, this is how nowadays it's. So user behavior analytics. Start by analyzing how your users are interacting with the feature. Tools like Google Analytics, Amplitude, something like that you can try. How many users are accessing the feature? What are all the tabs they are going on? Where users drop off during their interaction? Because when I read that particular some research paper, something like that, I was perplexed. But later I understood where the users drop off is the main point of capturing, because some application form we are filling off when we are moving. Sometimes we feel like, oh my God, it's too much information. I can't do it, dropping off. So these strategy or this analytics will help them to determine and reduce the more complicated questions or whatever it is. Where users drop off during their interactions, time spent on the feature versus the rest of the product. Microsoft, even in the PowerPoint, we have any number of things. How much time you are spending on the particular feature versus remaining product. So something like that. So this is so-called user behavior analytics. After that, segmentation. What kind of, when you are participating in your inception meeting, the segmentation is a crucial thing, right? When you're developing a product itself, segmentation comes into the picture. Once after you launched, detailed segmentation is essential. So break down the adoption data by user segments. Example, new customers versus existing, kind of gender, regions, usage patterns. This can reveal whether specific users groups are more resistant or hesitant to adapt the feature. Funnel analysis. So identify the bottlenecks where your customers are dropping. Okay, so feature adoption funnel from awareness. First of all, you want to know what's the product is being launched, to engagement. Awareness to engagement. First, if I got to know about it and I started to use and I'm interacting with that particular feature, that's so-called engagement. Am I using it very often? Retention. Okay, so can show where the potential users are getting stuck or abandoning the feature altogether. So this will help you to understand how I can increase the adoption rates. And then the quality feedback, maybe surveys and interviews, customer support tickets, those things. So these are all the data-driven analysis and the first thing. The second step is that based on this data, you want to go with the hypothesis and user pain points. You really want to implement the hypothesis on why adoption is low. Discoverability issues. Users may not be aware of the feature or its benefits due to poor visibility within the product. Complexity, onboarding and education. Maybe sometimes we don't even know what it is, and sometimes we don't know how to use the particular product, the complexity. Misalignment with the user needs. Maybe my need is something different and the feature is something different. So that's something. And sometimes I don't know how to use this one. So I need some hand holding on this one. So that's something. And step 3 is strategy to increase engagement. First, data driven. The second thing is hypothesis development, where, why, and what reasons the users are not engaging on it based on the data what you have gathered. And then you need to put up a strategy to increase the engagement. Enhance the discoverability. Correct. In product promotions, you need to let the users know these kind of feature is being developed and it is there. Some kind of product promotions, email campaigns, push notifications, those kind of things. And improve onboarding experiences, interactive tutorials, demo videos, and FAQs, something like that. So if you're purchasing some tools such as so-called Jira, no, I'm not sure about Jira, Monday.com and other features and stuff and other tools and all, they are uh, they are working with us and sharing the demo videos and making us more comfortable managing those kind of tools and all. So improve onboarding experience as they are doing it. So simplify the features. Make it very simple. Instead of complicating it too much, make it simple. And then leverage power users. First, what we want to target is that early adapters. Encourage power users to adopt the feature by giving them early access. Okay, so give the early access and make them to use and get their feedback up. And then propose some incentive sharing. So, and then the 5th step is that A/B testing. Okay, in the strategy to increase engagement, and in that one, do A/B testing and experimentation. Show two type of A/B, which is user more approachable, and those things will help you. And then use feature flagging to gradually release improved versions. Okay, and then the step 4 is continuous monitoring and adjustment. Monitor and adjust. This is what it is. Say for an example, if I want to share some real world example, Slack's thread features, even the same in Zoho ClickUp, thread feature was there. During my previous company, I wasn't aware about anything about the thread feature, which will help us to streamline the conversations and reduce the clutter. Say, for instance, some 20 members are in a group. One particular conversation, to and fro, if you're going, that particular conversation we will miss, as well as for few participants, it may not be even essential. So use a thread. My leaders taught me, Sanjay, you should use threads like this so that it will be very helpful. So this particular feature was there, but I wasn't have that awareness and the visibility of this. And first, initially, I didn't find that so user friendly, but later once I started to use, then I found, okay, this is helpful. So this is what the Slack also, Slack threads are. So discoverability, user education, simplicity, A/B testing, these are all something which help the Slack threads to improve to the next level. So I hope how you as a product manager can improve the adoption rates in your team. Okay. So the next question, maybe the last question, I believe. How do you strike a balance between introducing innovative feature and maintaining the core functionalities of a product? This is again more or less similar to the technical depth and innovating new feature, right? So provide an example. As a product manager, see, this role is again not that simple. You need to take a call based on the analysis, based on the approach, and many other factors which is a market need. So we should be in the position to understand end to end about the customer need. Okay. So balancing innovation with maintaining core functionalities is a crucial, often a complex task. Correct. So key approach for balancing innovation and core maintenance. What can you do first of all? Understand customer-centric prioritization. Be in this world nowadays, it's user-centric approach, customer-centric approach. What the pain points are they experiencing? What features will bring the most value to them? Which is essential for them, which is crucial for them at this momentum. Is it something we want to solve the problems or add meaningful value without jeopardizing the core expectations, experiences that they already trust? Say, for instance, when I was working as a .NET developer, I made a mistake. That was I was part of the insurance domain at that moment. I was supposed to do some development, website development. It has been moved to UAT. Next day, we need to get the UAT sign off. The previous day, because of the one single line of code what I made, it broke all other existing code, and we lost the trust with the customers, which was a lesson I learned. Complete end-to-end testing I should have done before even I provide the code to the UAT environment. It's just an UAT environment, not even a prod environment, but still the loss of the customer trust is something very challenging, right? So what feature will bring the most value to them? Or am I addressing the problem? So compare these things without losing your customer trust. That's important. So one effective approach is to engage with your customers through feedback loops, surveys, or direct interactions, desire, and understand what they want really. And then impact versus effort assessment. The second point you can what use it, impact. Each new feature or enhancement should be weighed based on the potential impact versus the effort required to implement. Many of the companies, we are not thinking about, is this the feature is going to used by many customers or even a small number of customers? How much percentage they are going to use it? What input or effort what I'm going to place on it? Is it equally mapping or not equally mapping, or at least more or less mapping? No. This strategy should be very clear within us. Many of us are not looking into this perception. So innovations that are high impact with low to moderate effort can be prioritized. While high effort changes that add only marginal value should go to the backseat, right? This particular thing, business value and the customer value should be determined. So the core functionality of the product is usually tied to stability, performance, and reliability. Thus, ongoing maintenance is essential to prevent technical debt. So the third thing, technical debt and risk mitigation. When you're maintaining your core functionalities, often involves refactoring legacy system, optimizing performance, and fixing bugs. These are all few things. So any decisions to introduce innovations must include a risk analysis, always a risk analysis of how it will affect the existing system. Does it introduce technical complexity that could slow down the feature updates or complicate the product's architecture? So these things you should always do with the risk analysis. Do the risk analysis, okay? And balancing short-term wins with a long-term vision. Sometimes something may be a short-term win. So innovation is essential to differentiate the product in a competitive market. But short-term wins must align with the long-term vision. So I wanted to do something, but I am doing something which is not at all aligning with the longer term missions. What is the point of doing this? So this balance can be achieved by breaking down innovations into smaller incremental releases. If I want to say one example, in real world, Airbnb. Okay, so how they have prioritized innovations and core maintenance. So during the initial times of Airbnb, it focused heavily on its core functionality of connecting hostess and the guest for short-term home rentals. However, once the platform grew, the expectation from the market started to increase, like features like experiences, where guests could book local tours, and expecting the Airbnb to integrate with the third-party services such as transportations and hotels and foods, those things. Okay, not hotels, transportation and food and other factors and all. They started to look for those options. At one point, Airbnb's product team had desired whether to allocate resource to developing new and innovative features like experiences or focus on maintaining and improve the core booking functionality, which became stress for them. Okay, becomes a stress under the increased usage, because that's the time where they launched their product in the market. They got the visibility, and many users have started to book via online, and during the peak time heavy usage has started. Okay, so the product team was aware that while innovation would allow them to expand into new venues, new markets, because transportation, if I'm providing, I may definitely get a profit. But again, ensuring that the basic booking system is completely on flaw, was their top priority. So see, basic booking system itself is in flaw. What is the point of giving the transportation to them? So if the core platform became unreliable, it would lead to decline in users' trust. Okay, so maintaining the customer's trust is crucial for us. So the team chooses to invest in stabilizing and optimizing the core platform, enhancing the reliability and scalability before moving forward with a large scale innovation like Airbnb experiences. So they focused on improving server performance and enhancing the search functionality and making sure that big booking were seamless during the peak time, especially during the peak times. So after they have stabilized the core system, stable and capable of handling increased customers band, they rolled out the extra features slowly. So this decision allowed Airbnb to ensure that the core product remained solid while also creating space for future innovation. If the core product itself is not strong, what is the point of bringing the new feature innovations? The company's ability to maintain this balance has contributed to its success. So this is how product manager can think about it. But again, it depends on the situation, depends on the environment where you are coming from and what is your use case. It must be different than theirs. I hope all these 4 questions added value. Stay in touch. We have another one set of list of questions which we would like to share it with you all. Till then, stay with us and do watch, subscribe our channel. Thank you so much. Once again, thank you, Sunan, for this wonderful opportunity.